Now, I was dyeing some Peacock Herl black yesterday, and I was dyeing it for tying some Diawl-Bachs, and one of the patterns I'm going to be tying is this one here. Now, basically they call this the Ninja, it's simply because it's black and red. It's got a wee bit of Opal Mirage on the top that works really well. Simple dress in the Diawl-Bach, but very productive. We fly, especially in still waters and when they're midge and that coming off. Now, the hook I'm going to be using is the Full and Mill. This is the one here. It's a competition heavyweight in black nickel. It's a nice hook. A lot of people are liking the darker colour on the hook. And the thread I'm going to be using is the Uni-Thread 80 in black. First thing we do is just run the wax through, just the once, and then I usually run my fingers through to take away the excess. And we start at the eye, and you run the thread down to just slightly by the point of the hook, and then remove the waist. Tail, just the blackcock hackle fibres. I'm just going to pull out some from the feather. Now it's quite simple, you just bring them 90 degrees from the stem. You see the tips have lined up, and then you tear off what you need. Pull them together. Now, tail length, looking around about the shank length of the hook. Now I'm offering the waist ends to myself and then come up and over with a turn or two. Now that couple of turns is actually onto the bare hook. So the steps, if you go up the way, you start to build up a wee step, and you don't want that. Now I'm going to trim this the length of the body, which is there. And then what I'm going to do is tie in a red, just basically it's a red tinsel rib. Now if you haven't got tinsel, use a red wire. Red wire, just the same, much the same. I just happen to have some red tinsel. Now I'm going to catch this on the side, and again that turn is down the way, full length of the body, which is there. Just a turn to hold, that's all we need. Now the Opal Mirage is the medium one. This is the Opal Mirage here. So it's the medium one. Now I'm just going to cut a length here. I've got some on my desk. Oh, I need a new fresh piece. So just catch this on the top. With a turn, again that turn's heading down the way. Got the Peacock Herl. I want 2 strands. Bring out, trim away. So I line up the tips. Again, catch this in, but again the full length of the body. And then we work our way up. It's a wee tad too long, so I'm just trim that away. Nice and tight. Now I'm going to wind the Peacock Herl up first. Now I'm going to wind it towards myself. So if you wind towards myself, it's basically when I bring the rib up through, it counter ribs the weak material, which is the Peacock Herl, and protects it. Now what I do to tie off, because I'm coming across, what I do is I take the thread over the Peacock Herl and I turn on it onto the hook to lock that in. Do the same again, and that's enough to hold. Then we can bring my Opal Mirage up. Now what I prefer not to do is touch the body, because I want to keep the herl sitting out. I don't want to flatten it at this point. I don't want to flatten it at all really, so don't touch the body, just bring the Opal Mirage over, a couple of turns, and then fold this back. That tucks it back, just a wee bit of wax on here so it doesn't slip. Then we can trim this away. You'll see how the back, it's always catches the light, and then you want to bring my tinsel rib or your wire rib, whatever you have, up through to get to this point here, across your thread, and again 3 or 4 turns to secure it. Just trim it away. The tinsel I'm using, this is old tinsel. It's an old spool. It's a nice colour red, as you can see. You could use holographic tinsel or anything like that. or as I say, just use a wire rib. I'd prefer to use a wire rib, like a UTC. It's much stronger because you need the tinsel to protect the fly. Now for the throat, I prefer to use hen hackles. This is just the tip of a hen hackle I've got. I'll show you the cape. It's just a wee Indian hen dyed black. I'll take one of the feathers off so you can see. Now it's much softer, it gives a lot of movement to the throat of the fly. So tail gives a nice shape, gives a profile, a taper. Cock hackles, but with the hen, ideal for the throat. And it's easier to tie in. It's not as thick. Now what I'm doing again, bring it 90 degrees from the stem, lines up the tips, tear that off. Now we offer it underneath. I'm trying to get the natural curve of the fibre. See that natural curve? Underside, about the length of the body. Just basically hold it with finger and thumb, pinch and loop up the way. And about 2 or 3 turns in. Just check. If you're a wee tad long, you can always just slightly pull the fibre. Take your time you're doing it. To a length that you like. Now I'm going to put a wax on my thread at this point. And then trim away. Now to trim, what I do is use the back of my hand to lift the thread out the way. Grab the waste ends of the hen fibres. Trim away. And then we can tidy up. There we are. Now you could finish at that. Still a nice wee fly at that. Or you can like put a highlight, a jungle cock eye, and these are split eyes I've got. Plenty. They're a wee bit light, but they're ideal for this fly. Good to use them up. Now, I'm just going to grab a feather, and then encourage to split a wee bit more into the feather a wee bit further, so it's easier to tie in. Now these fibres down the end here, I'm just going to draw them back. This basically what you do is you set this on the top and tie it on the black part of the jungle cock. Just force them down either side, come round with 2 or 3 turns. Now just check, see how the jungle cock's sitting now. That move, and I turned that round. Now I'm going to go back, it's easy to go back. Go back in. Get them in the position you want, just hold the tips of the jungle cock eye. Again, 2 or 3 turns. Now we check there, it's okay. That side's okay. When you're happy with the position of the eyes, then basically what I like to do is fold this back. So I tuck back the jungle cock. Just tidy the head area up. Forget about the waist of the jungle cock at this point and just flip finish. Prefer to keep the thread tight. Trim away the thread. Bring the feather up. We can slowly break it off if it wants to go. Sometimes you get a neater cut if you can break it off. And there we are. Now what I want to do is get a wee bit of varnish, and basically that's the fly finished. Just round the head. A couple of coats of varnish would do it, or a coat of super glue and then varnish. For speed, always finish with varnish if you're going to use super glue. Do a touch more here. There we are, that'll do it. So anyway, it's a fun name called the Ninja, Diawl-Bach, but it's a good wee pattern, and it's what I was dyeing, one of the patterns I was dyeing the Peacock Herl for, and you see it makes for a good pattern, so I hope you enjoyed that.